The Russian Defense Ministry alleged that the volunteer aid organization White Helmets was instructed to stage the strike at the town of Doma in eastern Ghouta. "We have evidence that proves Britain was directly involved in organizing this provocation," Defense Ministry spokesman Igor Konashenkov said. He claimed the UK government had put powerful pressure on the civil defense organizations. His shocking claims are regarded as complete nonsense by Whitehall officials. Ulstein-Bild Russia claims UK aid agencies staged the Syrian chemical attack. The White Helmets, also known as Syria Civil Defense, is a humanitarian organization of around 3,000 volunteers involved in search and rescue operations after bombings, as well as supporting aid organizations and helping with evacuations. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov also claimed the chemical weapons attack was staged. He said, "We have irrefutable evidence that this was another staged event, and that the secret services of a certain state that is now at the forefront of a Russophobic campaign was involved in this staged event." Meanwhile, Russia's ambassador to London yesterday compared the allegations about chemical weapons in Syria to intelligence failings in the run-up to the 2003 invasion of Iraq. At a bizarre news conference at the Russian embassy in London, Alexander Yakovenko screened footage of a former Labour Prime Minister apologizing for the blunders. "We are witnessing very dangerous developments in Syria," the ambassador said. The current US politics, supported almost mechanically by France and the UK, is becoming a threat to the peace and security in the region and beyond. He said the US and its allies had provided no tangible proof to back up claims the Syrian government was responsible for the attack. He added, "We are witnessing very dangerous developments in Syria. The current US politics, supported almost mechanically by France and the UK, is becoming a threat to the peace and security in the region and beyond." The ambassador added his voice to the chorus of Russian claims that the chemical weapons attack was faked. The Syrian government had been repeatedly warning for at least a month that rebels prepared to stage a provocation with chemical weapons in this very area. Mr. Yakovenko said that international inspectors were expected in Syria on Saturday, adding, "But I believe that any delay may be used to carry out military strikes to cover up all the evidence, or lack thereof, on the ground," he said. Mr. Yakovenko was asked if he thought there was any connection between events in Syria and in Salisbury. He said, "We can see some logic there, because one way or another, the whole affair, the real serious affair in Salisbury, was a huge provocation against my country. Within 1 month everyone is talking here, reading the articles, so in the eyes of the British politicians and the British media Russia looks quite, to put it mildly, not in the best shape. What is interesting, there should be some kind of connection, because in one case here is the so-called chemical weapons, in the other one, I mean everything that's happening in Doma, it's also another one where we're connected. So, there is some kind of projection of idea that Russia is supporting everything what is connected with the chemical weapons. It means that they are violating the international law and they should be accountable. So basically I see the philosophical link between everything what happened here and in Syria, but, of course, we're dealing with every single case on a case-by-case basis. It's absolutely different story, but in the mind of the public, it's a real challenge for all of us." Britain's ambassador to the United Nations Karen Pierce angrily rejected the Russian claims that the UK staged the chemical weapons attack on Doma. "This is grotesque, it is a blatant lie. It is the worst piece of fake news we've yet seen from the Russian propaganda machine," she said. The Foreign Office said accusations made by Moscow that Britain directed the attack on Doma were ludicrous. A spokesman said, "Russia has wielded its UNSC veto 6 times since February 2017 to shield the Assad regime from scrutiny for its use of chemical weapons." These accusations from Moscow are just the latest in a number of ludicrous allegations from Russia, who have also said that no attack ever happened. This simply shows their desperation to pin the blame on anyone but their client, the Assad regime. The chemical weapons attack in Doma last Saturday was a shocking and barbaric act that cost up to 75 lives, including young children.